Investigating populations, the mark, release, recapture method. So the mark, release, recapture is a method used to measure the abundance of more motile species, those that move around a bit more. So the method is capture a sample of a species using an appropriate technique and count them. Mark them in a harmless way, like putting a spot of paint on them or a UV paint so that they can't be seen by the marking can't be seen by predators, or you can use an identification tag. Then you would release them back into their habitat, wait a week or a certain length of time, then take a second sample from the same population and count how many of the second sample are marked. You can then use the equation to estimate the total population size. So the equation is total population size equals the number caught in the first sample times by the number caught in the second sample divided by the number marked in the second sample. Now there are some assumptions that are made in the mark, release, recapture method. They are: the marked sample has to have enough time and opportunity to mix with the population. The marking hasn't affected the individual's chance of survival, for instance by making them more visible to predators, and the marking itself is still visible, it hasn't rubbed off. You don't want something that's just going to be washed off. So you wouldn't, for instance, paint a really bright rainbow on a snail because that would be more visible to birds. And you also assume that there's no changes in population size because of births, deaths and migration during the period of study. Now there are some ethics to consider. Some people think that capturing animals for study is unethical because it causes them unnecessary stress. Also, if animals are put under too much stress during capture, it could reduce their chance of survival after release or influence them to avoid the trap in the future. These would interfere with the accuracy of any estimation of population size made using the mark, release, recapture method. So to minimise stress, the investigation should be planned so that organisms are treated carefully and are kept and handled as little as possible. So now just a worked example. So scientists wanted to investigate the abundance of leaf hoppers in a grassy meadow. They used sweep nets to catch a large sample of leaf hoppers. Each insect was marked on its underside with non-toxic waterproof paint and then released back into the meadow. The following day, another large sample was caught using sweep nets. Use the figures below to estimate the size of the leaf hopper population in this meadow. So number caught and marked in first sample is 234. Number caught in second sample was 242. Number of marked individuals in the second sample equals 72. So you know that it's number in the first sample times by number in the second sample divided by the number marked in the second sample. So it would be 234 times 242 divided by 72. So 56628 divided by 722 equals 787. So that's your estimation of population size.